Welcome to the AT&T Cotton Bowl here in Texas at Cowboys Stadium in what is a truly David versus Goliath matchup, and you really wouldn't think that when you look at these two teams, especially in Texas, who were our 2007 national champions. But you look at the records, LSU, #1 in the nation, currently ranked at 15-0, the lone remaining undefeated team in the nation, going up against the Texas Longhorns, who are 9-5, a 5-loss team, going up against a 15-win team. It truly is David versus Goliath as #1 takes on number 24. Ticket sales are 50-50, split right down the middle, given to both teams. But for the Texas Longhorns, how about the advantage getting to play in their own backyard as you take a look at Ruben Randall? The Cotton Bowl, though, the shorter, quicker trip for this LSU team, and also they figured why not go here because we already won in this stadium before. This is a stadium we know and we dominated in before. I mean, this is LSU's second trip to Cowboys Stadium. They know how to play here and they know how to win in here. So there are no excuses tonight for the LSU Tigers. The winner will move on to do battle with the #4 seed, and that's Stanford. In the history of the Bowl Championship Series playoffs, out of seeds 1 through 4, only once has a seed ranked in the top 4 made it to the Final Four, and that was Alabama back in 2009. Can LSU make history and join Stanford as the second top seed to make the Final Four? Well, number 24 is off on a great start as Case McCoy gets it out to Shipley. I'm sure Colt got that his whole life. And just like that, the Texas Longhorns start off with a first down. AT&T Cotton Bowl, 100,000 strong at this one, without a doubt. Malcolm Brown with the 1-yard carry, gets back up to the 40-yard line. Texas wearing the burnt orange for the first time in the BCS playoffs, and getting to do that because LSU, they like to wear the whites. And there's another catch, but you saw just getting lit up was the defender, and he got slammed down there pretty hard by that LSU defender. So third down and 9, and McCoy will go empty set. And he has an open receiver. How about that for the Texas Longhorns? Out to Shipley again. The Longhorns, David, they are moving the ball. And another grab. And that one, Honey Badger was on Shipley that time, and he just got free. So, I mean, you don't often see that out of Tyrann Mathieu. And how about the Texas Longhorns moving down the field at ease right now on the LSU Tigers? LSU did have to come back in the fourth quarter last week in the Liberty Bowl to survive. Fakes it to Brown. Case McCoy. What a drive Case McCoy has led his team on here in this opening series of the AT&T Cotton Bowl. McNamara with that catch, and they are in business. LSU, the New Orleans Bowl, and the Liberty Bowl champions for the Texas Longhorns. They are the Belk Bowl. And well, there's the handoff, and they're not going to get in. Great goal line stop for LSU to hold the Texas Longhorns out of the end zone. But anyway, yes, Texas, they are the Belk Bowl and the Gator Bowl champions. There goes Case McCoy, and Case McCoy will get tackled so he can't run it in. He gets tackled by Logan, Benny Logan, and another stop here. One more win for the LSU Tigers, and they get to go back to the place that they won their first bowl game at, and that's the New Orleans Bowl. They get to go back to New Orleans, their home state. The advantage for the LSU Tigers to possibly play in 3 bowl games in the same stadium, as well as this bowl game in a stadium they've already won in before. And Case McCoy with the option play keeps it himself, gets past LSU and in for the end zone, and David casts its first stone and hits. And the Texas Longhorns, it's so strange to think that they're the Davids in this game with the long history and tradition of this team. But the 9-5 Texas Longhorns lead 15-0 LSU 7-0 here in the AT&T Cotton Bowl. But bear in mind, this is before LSU's offense even has a chance to get onto the field. And the kick return brought way up to the 32-yard line. We'll see what Jordan Jefferson and everyone on LSU does with it. Michael Ford, was that a fumble or did he just get pushed back? I think that was a fumble. Let's take a look again. There's the run. Yes, that popped right out of there. And luckily for Ford, it was scooped up by Peterson. Wow. Lucky break for the LSU Tigers. Brings us to a 2nd down and 5. They're going to trust Ford to run it again, and Ford cannot get through the whole offensive line. Didn't open up any holes for Ford to run through. 3rd down and 5 for the Tigers. First down LSU. How about the poise by Jordan Jefferson to stand in the pocket and then get it out there to Beckham, Odell Beckham, and get the first down. And now LSU's starting to move here on their opening drive. We've seen some great games. If you haven't had a chance, and another completion, 1st down. If you haven't had a chance to see the Rose Bowl from last night and also the Fiesta Bowl, go see those games. They were exciting. They came down to the wire. They both came down to one final play. And the way this one is shaping up with both offenses driving, we might easily be heading that way too. I mean, it starts getting intense, the passion and the energy that these teams want to use as they come down to the wire. And Jordan Jefferson's going to get sacked. You get this far, you don't want to come away with a loss. But that's a great start for the Longhorns. Alex Okafor comes in and takes down Jordan Jefferson for an 11-yard sack. So now it's 2nd down and long. They let Ford try to get some of that yardage back, and he actually does pretty well. So now on 3rd and 14, you've got to believe that this is going to be a pass play just past the 50-yard line. Oh, he got someone to jump, but there's no flag, and that's the man that got... Oh, my goodness, how is that not a flag? Not only did he jump, not only did he get the sack and force the fumble. Oh, the referees may have missed the call on that one. Might have been a little Longhorn home cooking. And they hold the Tigers. They let him drive, but they hold him here. I don't know how you don't call that offsides. But Texas will get another shot at it. LSU looking really sloppy in the first quarter. But that's kind of LSU's game. They really don't begin to pick things up until the second half. We've seen it all season. We saw it in the New Orleans Bowl when it was, 10-17 late. Malcolm Brown with the carry, and pretty much that's how LSU does its thing. Takes them a while to get going, but once they do, they're pretty hard to stop. Momentum is LSU's best friend, and if you're Texas, you don't want to give them any bit of it. McCoy to throw it on 2nd and 5. Has his man, and it's only going to be enough for 1 yard, and then Shipley. Jackson Shipley. Not spelled how it should be spelled, but pretty cool with that X in there. On 3rd and 4, Case for the first down, trying to do what his brother Colt did in 2007 and win a national championship. Pass was completed to Mike Davis. I believe that was a freshman, Colt McCoy, that did that in 2007. The Texas Longhorns are inaugural Bowl Championship Series champions. They took on Georgia in the national title game. And they did it in SEC country. That was the All-State BCS Final Four back in the day, and it was, I believe it was, who all was in our Final Four? It was Texas, Georgia, Auburn, and Tennessee, I believe. Let me pull the numbers up here. Yes, indeed. It was Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, and Auburn in the Final Four. Texas having to compete in SEC country with all those SEC opponents. They got through Auburn 49-28, and then they took down Georgia 21-17. Georgia was the 5 seed. Texas was the 19th seed. They finished the season at a solid 14-3. But we're here and now. This is 2011, and Texas Longhorns are trying to make it happen again on 2nd down and 6. Case McCoy will throw it once again. Has another open man, and that's another Longhorn first down. They are just moving the football at ease. You see McCoy's numbers. They are great. They're going to option out to Malcolm Brown, and he'll be just short of the first down. Right on the AT&T logo. That's some good sponsorship. Last year's Cotton Bowl champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, went on to win the national championship. Could lightning strike twice in this bowl game? Incomplete pass by McCoy, so that's 3rd down and 1. Lots of options to do here, but how perfect Texas has been on 3rd downs. 3 for 3. It won't happen there. Make it 3 for 4, and the Longhorns may have to settle for a field goal. They are not. Mac Brown says we are going for it. We are David, and we're putting it all on the line. 4th down and 1. They pitch it to the outside, and Malcolm Brown gets the first down. The Honey Badger bolted from the back of the field after being blocked. How good is he? But it wasn't enough as the Longhorns bust forward, stampede forward, and pick up the first down. And they have done a great job controlling the clock. As we're getting towards the end of the second, LSU has had 1 possession. Case McCoy over the middle, open receiver for the first down. To McNarma. How about the line? And this is the offense in the previous 2 games. Case McCoy did not have 100 yards passing. He had 80 yards passing just about both times. It was the defense up against South Carolina with the 3 or 4 turnovers that helped them win that game. And it was the defense against Kansas State that forced 8 sacks on Colin Klein that helped Texas win that game. It's been all defense. And now tonight, the Texas offense is showing up to play against one of the best defenses in the Southeast Conference. Montgomery will get in there to tackle the backup running back, and that's Forrest Whitaker. Brown needed some rest after that run. 3rd down and 10. This could be a potential big stop for the LSU offense. They're going to run the ball. Nearly fooled them. Nearly got through to the first down. I believe that was Matthew who's in on the tackle. And now Mac Brown says, let's go for the field goal. You get gutsy once, but you don't want to be too foolish, and the kick will be knocked through with ease by Justin Tucker. So it's 10-0. How about it? How about an upset in the making? We already have two teams that haven't won their conference that have moved on to the Final Four. I mean, Stanford, and you saw the proof of how they beat Oregon. They perhaps could have won their conference if they had a chance, but unfortunately the way conference championship rules work is Ford takes the carry for two. It's got to be from one division versus the other, even though two of the best teams are in the same division. In Oregon and Stanford, Oregon had to play a 6-6 team to win their conference title. So who knows that Stanford really wasn't the best in the conference. Jordan Jefferson down the field, incomplete. The other team, Virginia Tech, they actually did have a shot to play for their conference title. They got taken out. We're down to just two conference champions in this whole thing. That's West Virginia and LSU on 3rd and 8. They are not going to get the first down, and the LSU struggles continue. They got to punt it away. I'm surprised they didn't let more time run off the clock before they punted it, to be honest with you. The Texas Longhorn defense continues to play as good as it has in these last few ball games, but I'm more so impressed with the Texas offense, who has been absolutely absent in the Belk Bowl and the Gator Bowl. Case McCoy to take off, get the first down, and I don't know if it's the feeling of playing in their backyard or what. I know LSU picked this game because of shorter travel and the fact that Texas was already in Jacksonville, so make Texas travel from Jacksonville all the way here to Texas. And also for LSU to play in a stadium they've already played in before, but my oh my, the Longhorns might be channeling some of that Texas energy here tonight. On 2nd and 2, they give it to Malcolm Brown, and easy first down for the Longhorns, and this offense continues to move. Hook 'em horns. Oh man, we could have an upset in the making here tonight at the Cotton Bowl. McCoy tries to run it again, but he immediately gets tossed down. You're not going to get past the LSU defense that many times. Win your battles where you can win them. McCoy, incomplete, and now that's starting to look more so like the Case McCoy that we saw in the first two bowl games here. They were a perfect 3 for 3. Now they're down to a 3 for 5 efficiency. McCoy calling some shots at the line. On 3rd down and long, McCoy avoids one sack and can't avoid the other. Once you get past the one, you got to do what you can to try to get rid of that football. He didn't do it, and he got brought down by Ryan Baker. Matt Hatter says thank you for getting us out of that one. Now it's 4th and 20, and LSU will not use a timeout to stop the clock, and the Texas Longhorns surely will wait all the way till there's 10 seconds left on the clock before they punt this one away. So it's interesting the way they're playing this one. But do remember the SEC championship. LSU went into the locker room trailing after a shaky start. They came out and scored 40+ on the Georgia Bulldogs. Anything can happen, especially in the Bowl Championship Series. I think we've seen that already, especially with some of the great games. I mean, these Elite 8 games have just been spectacular. And LSU football with 5 seconds left, which will be Most likely a Michael Ford handoff, and we will get out of the half. So that will do it for the first half. The #1 team in the nation is on the ropes. LSU trails Texas. David is beating Goliath 10-0. This is Bowl Championship Series football here on Fox. We'll be right back. Let's send it up to the guys up in the booth. All right, Jimmy, Terry, Howie, thank you guys for that halftime report. Welcome back to Bowl Championship Series football here on Fox. It's the AT&T Cotton Bowl between #1 in the nation, LSU, undefeated, going up against number 24 and 5 loss, Texas. But how about the dominant Texas defense continues to play as well as it has in the first 2 bowl games? But the real surprise has been the Texas offense. Case McCoy, who has not thrown for 100 yards yet in his first 2 wins, already has 100 yards throwing, and we're just starting the third quarter. But to kick off the third quarter is also the LSU Tigers, who are desperate to get their offense in gear, and they truly are a second half team. Oh, intercepted! Intercepted by Texas. Maybe they're not the second half team we thought they are who we thought they were. It's an interception. Number 20. I don't have a number 20 on my roster. Maybe there's a number switch. I apologize. Wish we could credit that, because that could be a huge turning point in this football game. Case McCoy, incomplete. And this is where McCoy's got to step up right now. This is where he's got to be a leader on this team and get into the end zone. Down goes Shipley. We have a flag. Malcolm Brown called for the hold. There was so much criticism when Auburn and Texas got into the BCS playoffs at 24-25 with 7-5 records. So much criticism, not only throughout the nation, but on Facebook and also on our YouTube page. But Texas is trying to prove we deserve to be here. Case McCoy has no, incomplete. They do not want to squander this opportunity. They have a chance to make it a 17-point game, and if they can't score, it'll still be a 2-score game. Touchdown, Longhorns. There you go. Jackson Shipley with the score, and the Longhorns take a 3-score lead over #1 in the nation. Who could have predicted this outcome? Wow. And now it's really clutch time. It's really desperation time for LSU and the Mad Hatter. They pulled off the comeback in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl last week. Do they have another comeback in them? Do the SEC champions have 3 touchdowns in them? They have been ineffective to this point moving the football. The handoff to Ford. And he'll get a few yards. Not many holes there. Second down and 7. Another handoff to Ford, and he gets stopped at the line. And now you quickly move to a 3rd down and 7. And Jefferson's going to screen it out there, and I don't know what kind of play calling that was. 2 runs And then let me just drop back and throw it to Ford right at the line of scrimmage. Of course he's not going to get anywhere. And now you got to punt it away. LSU, our lone remaining undefeated team in the nation, is in danger of losing. And they were simply one win away from the Final Four, which would have been in their home state, in the same stadium they won their first bowl game this season. McCoy, here comes Honey Badger. He lit up Case McCoy, but McCoy still got the football away. The Honey Badger was coming for Case McCoy, but he laid it out there and still found his man. Screen pass. No dice. Loss of 2 yards out to Malcolm Brown. Brown starting to show some frustrations on his face. And another handoff. Right up the middle, and he'll get back the 2 yards, and he'll get a couple more. Third down and 4 for the Longhorns. Case throwing it deep on 3rd and 4. And it's going to be intercepted by the Honey Badger. The game changer comes up big with an interception. And that might be the thing that his team needs to spark this offense. I'm impressed with the way this Texas Longhorn defense has played. They were the sole reason they beat South Carolina. They put 8 sacks up on Colin Klein, who scored 35 points against Auburn. And now they're holding the #1 team in the nation down to 0 points. Second down and 10. Jefferson will do it with his legs. He will have the first down. Breaking tackles down to the 48-yard line. Jordan Jefferson, you can tell the frustration's building for him. Oh man, how about that stiff arm? Mike the Tiger doing his thing. It's getting down to it now for LSU. Can't rest you on your morals too much longer. You got to start getting some points. They give it to Ford. Ford breaks free, and we have a flag, possibly a face mask, possibly a holding call. Oh, man, that's going to hurt LSU. Alex Hurst called for the hold. So you give up the big run. You give up 10 yards. Les Miles is not happy. You see the LSU players on the sidelines. They are not happy. Oh, they'll let Ford run it again. Same exact play and almost the same exact result. That's Les Miles for you. Under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Second down and 8. Hand it off to Ford again. Almost the same play. Just a draw play up the middle. You won't get too much on it. Third down and 6. LSU, they've yet to sniff the red zone here today. Jefferson will take off. He'll dive forward. How about Jordan Jefferson laying it all out on the line, diving forward and picking up the first down for his team, for his Tigers. The fans in attendance, they are on their feet, trying to rally their LSU team. We have yet to have a shutout yet in the BCS playoffs. We are on the verge, and Just breaking through for the tackles. Second down and 13. They run it with Ford. And he'll go down. They're really taking the ball out of Jefferson's hands late here in the football game. And you would think at least with his scrambling ability, he'd be able to pick up some yards, but that's 2 straight runs, and now you're on a 3rd and long. And they run it a 3rd time. What the heck are they doing out there? I don't understand why you run it 3 times in a row, especially on 3rd and long, and now you're punting it. LSU shut out up to the 4th quarter, and you really got to think stupid play calling up to this point. I honestly don't understand, especially when you've seen what Jefferson can do on the last 2 plays. With that look at that scrambling ability. Maybe Les Miles missed that, but I don't understand why you run the ball, and now they are going to go for it after after taking the break for the quarter. They are going to go for it. And down goes Jefferson, and that was on a 4th down, so maybe you let him do that earlier, and that was because Jefferson had to go deep because you made it a 3rd and long with 3 straight runs. Unbelievable right now. Not to take anything away from the Longhorns, but it's been some questionable play calling here, and now not only are they in danger of going home, losing their 1st game of the year, but they're in danger of not even scoring a point, being the 1st team to be shut out. Could you imagine that? The number 1 seed, Case McCoy, incomplete. And this Texas defense again. I mean, my goodness. Where have they been all year? Malcolm Brown with the 1st down run. And let McCoy throw it on 1st and 10. He will scramble, and he gets thrown down by Honey Badger and some others. As the time continues to wind, it is not looking good for number 1 in the nation here at the AT&T Cotton Bowl. Malcolm Brown for the 1st down, and LSU, they just didn't convert when they had their chances on offense early, and then just some questionable play calling late. And there goes Case McCoy. Finally tackled at the last moment by Brandon Taylor. Or McCoy might have scored and really put this one out of reach. If he scores again, that's a 4-touchdown game, and that might do it for the LSU Tigers. You never say never in this sport, but that might be pretty hard to overcome. LSU could really go for a turnover or something at this point. They got to start going for the football, ripping away, pulling something. Oh man, how about Brown? Or no, that was Whitaker getting hit and flying around. So 3rd down and 3 for the LSU Tigers. Essentially a 3rd and goal. Oh, we have some movement. So that'll help out LSU a whole lot. False start. You're watching the AT&T Cotton Bowl here on Fox. And David is about to conquer Goliath if they can score one more time. Touchdown, Longhorns! And that should be the win. What an upset victory Dominique Jones came in with the catch. People were talking about Mac Brown being on the hot seat. Well, how about this run for his team? No team with 5 losses has ever won the national championship. Arizona with 4 has been the exception as the most lost team to ever win a title. Before that, it was this Texas team with 3. But right now, number 1 in the nation is down 24-0. But then again, does anything really surprise you? This is the same tournament that brought you Boise State only scoring 2 points. Coming up next, we have Alabama against Big East champs, West Virginia. And we are very close to sending yet another conference champion home. Jordan Jefferson will simply run and slide down. It's desperation time for LSU, but I don't even think this is something they can overcome. Jefferson will just run it again. He's trying to do it with his feet. I mean, there must be some really good coverage, or his receivers just aren't doing what they're supposed to, or what, but he's doing a whole lot of scrambling and running around here today. He threw that one short for just 3. Under 2.5 to play. Incomplete pass, and he had an open man. 3rd down and 7 for LSU. This is a shocker. And I mean, they had the option to go to the Orange Bowl, but they were thinking it's 50-50 ticket sales. This is the stadium we already won in. Incomplete. We know this stadium. Texas just got done playing a game in Jacksonville. Make them travel all the way from Jacksonville to Texas. But I might have just been a little too much Texas heat here today. 4th and 7. Open receiver. Touchdown. Yes, there it is for the LSU Tigers. And Russell Shepard will help prevent the shutout. Because no disrespect to the Texas Longhorns, and if you're a fan, but with 5 losses, a shutout loss would have been pretty embarrassing to have. Especially for a team that's 15-0. Here comes a 2-point conversion. They fake it. Jefferson does not get it. He is going to fall short. Onside kick attempt to come up. We have yet to see a successful one in the playoffs. Bounces around. Oh, they had an opportunity. Longhorn football. They're throwing the horns up. I think there might be a storming of the field or something for this victory for Texas. Malcolm Brown and LSU not even going to use their timeouts. They're going to let it wind all the way down here at the AT&T Cotton Bowl, and this stadium is getting loud. Third down and 3, and once again, LSU looking like they're admitting defeat at this point in time. I mean, just letting you listen to the fans here. They are on their feet. I have a feeling we might be storming the field in a couple of moments. McCoy on 3rd down will throw it. Incomplete. The clock will stop. And now they're going to go for a long field goal of 50 yards. And it's good. How about it? So they increase their lead back to 21 points. Can a team score 3 touchdowns in 30 seconds with 3 timeouts? We were about to find out. Could you imagine? Oh, incomplete. That's not a good start. A lot of people thought we were on a collision course for 1 versus 2 this year, as the number 1 and number 2 seed were this close, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And now you run it with Ford. Again, questionable play calling. You got 20 seconds left. What do you think is going to happen with a running play? Jefferson has his man. That's Russell. No, that was yeah, Russell Shepard. 10 seconds left. Oh, Jefferson towards the end zone. Touchdown LSU. And you got to wonder, where was all of this earlier? Where was all of this from LSU earlier? Too little, too late. Even if they get the onside kick, now they're down to 4 seconds. I don't think they can score 2 touchdowns in 4 seconds. Les Miles is proud of the effort they showed late. Well, it's a 14-point game now. And onside kick time, I would imagine. Look at this stadium. We are jam-packed, sold out. There's the kick. It's Longhorn football, and that one will do it. LSU surges late. You gotta wonder if they'd come up with a couple of those earlier, they wouldn't be suffering their first loss of the season. One more knee. The Tigers, for some reason, call a timeout. Game over. And David has beaten Goliath. And that's what this tournament, what these playoffs are all about. Your 2011 Belk Bowl, Gator Bowl, and now AT&T Cotton Bowl champions. And you see Mac Brown walking out onto the field, arms held high. Like, I don't believe how my team did it. But we have just beaten number 1 in the nation. Case McCoy came out here playing million times better than he did in his opening 2 games. LSU fans, they were 1 win away from going home to New Orleans and competing in the Final Four. So now we know, in the Final Four, our first BCS Final Four game, All-State BCS Final Four game, it will be Texas versus Stanford. Texas has already taken down a 2-loss SEC team, a 0-loss SEC team, and a really good Kansas State team that has 2 losses, a 2-loss Kansas State team. Now they have to go up against Andrew Luck, a man that's been awesome so far in the playoffs, and the Stanford Cardinal. And that game will be in New Orleans. You see LSU's late surge, but how about Texas? And for LSU, they put up a heck of a fight. They had a really good run. But we got to bid them farewell. They are going home way sooner than they would have liked. They thought this was their year, their national championship year. But they are going home. They fall victims to the Cotton Bowl. Here's our post-game show. Jordan Jefferson See his numbers. Followed up by Case McCoy, who had his best day thus far in the Bowl Championship Series playoffs. Rushing, Malcolm Brown held his own, 14 attempts, 67 yards. Ford, 12 attempts for 36 yards, didn't do too well. On the receiving day, Russell Shepard, 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the other side, it was Shipley. 5 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Defensively, how about 3 sacks for Alex Okafor? What a great day he had. And then moving down the line, it was Diggs who had the interception earlier, whose name. He normally wears 28. He was wearing 20 in this game. He's the freshman. Nonetheless, that's the man that gets the credit. And then on the other side, Baker, 10 tackles and a sack. Honey Badger had 5. And finally, comparative stats. 14 first downs to 6 for Texas. 256 yards for Texas, 212 for LSU. Passing yards, pretty much even. Third down conversions, Texas got them on 50%. Red zone, LSU did not sniff the red zone at all. Texas, 4 times into the red zone, they got 3 touchdowns out of it. Both teams traded turnovers, and on total yards, LSU beat them out. But in the end, it's the Texas Longhorns. They're your ultimate underdog story. They are moving on. They will do battle with Stanford in the All-State BCS Final Four in New Orleans. The champions of the LSU bracket, with victories over South Carolina, Kansas State, and LSU. A combined 4 losses of teams. They've beaten teams that have fewer losses than they have. And there you see, moving in, team number 3 of the Final Four, the champions of the LSU bracket taking on the champs of the Stanford bracket. It will be Stanford and it will be Texas in New Orleans, and that will be next week. There you see it. The Texas Longhorns, the Stanford Cardinal, January 7th, 2011 at 1 o'clock on ESPN, part of the All-State Sugar Bowl Final Four.